Should you or should you not be buying a content website right now or in the future for that matter? Hi, I'm Jared Kraus. I'm the host of the Buying Online Businesses podcast. And today is a bit different. I'm going to be sharing a recording that I did, which was actually a Facebook Live in the group, the Buying Online Businesses group, for our exclusive paid only members. Now, the reason I'm going to be sharing this with you is because it's something I just need to feel I should be sharing with the wider community, just because a lot of people are freaking out at the moment around Google, what to do with online businesses, and basically their semi-passive income, their retirement path. And yeah, I just wanted to do a massive service and share this with you guys. Now, in this recording, I do tell people to contact me and I can answer their questions. Now, please note that I'm speaking to people. I record this for my exclusive only members. If you're going to be asking questions around specific IP and me sharing IP, I won't be able to answer them via email unless you are a member, of course. If you've got some general questions, I'm happy to help. Please email me. I am here for you guys as well. Now, in this, I'm talking about the Google updates. What has happened with Google traffic, organic traffic? Are we all going to die? I talk about what happens now for people that have bought online businesses or own content websites, who have bought content sites, own content websites, and have lost money, traffic and rankings like I have. What do we do? What how do we navigate these waters? Then I also discuss, should you be buying a content website right now through the end of back end or middle or through 2024 and beyond? Should you be buying a content website or not? And what alternatives are out there if I suggest you should be buying something different, and why? So it's not all bleak. Everybody online is sharing information and data around shit's hit the fan, we're all stuffed and complaining. And the reality is that, hey, life happens, business happens. Things don't work out as we always, maybe we expect them to, but that's not the end, right? Life gives us what we need, not what we want all the time, right? Sometimes it slaps us across the ears and we need to learn a lesson. And those, I've found out in my life, are typically the best lessons that propel me forward in growth. So if anything, this is an opportunity, and I wanted to share all of this with you. Now, some stages through the recording, I'm talking to people that have chatted on Facebook Live and all that sort of stuff, but you'll get the gist, you'll get the point. Also hope that this recording, I've tried to edit this, and I've realized that it's a bit patchy, so I hope it comes through loud and clear. This is something that's going to be so valuable for you guys, so enjoy. Now, let's talk about Google. I haven't talked about it yet. A lot of people are complaining, bitching and moaning, and this is going to be a bit of real talk in this actual call. Now, I'm fully aware that a lot of people are being hurt with Google and content sites, myself included. Lost traffic, lost rankings, lost money. And it hurts and it sucks. It really does. And it's a part of doing business. That things happen. And the environment changes. They're the risks that we know that we're going up against. And every single due diligence that you have sent through that is a content site, we have put typically at the top of the risks that if it has a lot of Google traffic, that it's single source dependent on Google traffic. We explain there's a risk every single time, and you guys know it. I know it. And I've still bought content sites, and I've still taken on that risk, and I've lost traffic, rankings, and money, like a lot of people have. Now, let's just stick with the Google thing for a little bit. Google has changed how it's promoting or putting out or ranking sites. Is it fair? That's debatable. It's not for us to say because we don't own Google. We don't run Google, and they have to do what's best for them to stay in business. And I'm sure that if we look at it through that lens, we can sort of try to understand what they're doing. I don't understand what they're doing. So many professional SEOs do not understand what they're doing, how or why. And what I see out there is most people are complaining. And that is a sad, sad thing. Because complaining is going to get you absolutely nowhere. And so there's definitely alternatives, and there's definitely a course of action for me to take, for you to take, and for us all to take that's going to be far better than where we're at right now, typically, or most people are where they're at right now with their mindset. As you guys know, mindset is, I find, the most important thing for success. And that's what I really pride myself on. And my success on is having a really strong, solid mindset. So I'm going to share a bunch of that stuff with you today. Either way that you look at it, at the end of the day, a thing that has happened to us that is unexpected and isn't exactly what we want or had planned, typically life ends up happening for us, not to us. Okay? So life gives us these lessons that we can go away and learn from. And sometimes people do not learn from them. And sometimes people sit there, complain, wish it had changed, wish it wasn't that way, and damn, change happened. And they weren't ready for it. The reality is that change is the only constant in this world. We should be prepared for it. And I look back on my life and see that all these things that have smashed me in the face have been good things, because I learned a lesson from that, and I pivoted and grew out of it. And that's what I want all of us to be doing. Now, the good thing is that most of us here are looking at buying an online business and haven't yet bought a content site or bought an online business. Some of us have, and I know other people have, and we've lost traffic, rankings, and money. And what we can do is we can learn from this. So let me talk about those. Let me just talk about that stage, and then I'm going to move to the people that haven't yet bought a business and what we should be doing if we're looking at buying an online business, buying a content site or not, and what to do instead or differently. And there's no perfect answer, and this is not going to be, you're going to have to work it out a little bit for yourself. I'm going to give you some direction, of course, and you can come to me and ask questions, of course. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm doing this live for. So before I go through this in a linear fashion of people that have bought an online business that has Google traffic or did rely on Google traffic, then I'm going to talk about people that are looking at buying a content business that either relies on Google traffic or not. And I'm going to talk about solutions for both. Now, are they going to be tricky and difficult? For people that have bought an online business that have been affected by Google changes, yes, it's going to be tricky and difficult. For people that have not yet bought an online business, it's going to be so much easier, as long as you can wrap your head around some of the mindsets that I'm going to share with you guys. Rogers asked, can we focus on building traffic from other sources than Google? They have too much power over our earnings. Yes, good question, Roger. And it's not that they have power over our earnings, right? We've given them power. We gave it to them, right? We took the risk. And I said, I'm gonna trust that this is going to be sustainable for a certain period of time. And I'm giving my power over to you. And that's what I've done. That's what so many people have done. And I've done it with not just Google, I've done it with Facebook and so many different things. Okay. So it's us, it's really about us understanding what power that we're willing to give to earn something back in return. And also where we should control and what sort of power that we should keep for ourselves and what sort of control we should have. And yes, Roger, I'm going to answer that question. Should we look at other sources of traffic? So first and foremost, people that have bought a content site or own a content site and have been affected by Google algorithm changes and lost rankings and traffic. The HCU update. There was one in September. There's one that's been rolling out through March, hasn't yet finished because, hey, March hasn't finished. So it sucks, right? First and foremost, it sucks, and I feel your pain. I feel everybody's pain. And the more that we complain about it, the less likely that you're going to move forwards and find a solution. So the first step is let's get out of poor me, because it's happened to so many people. Yes, poor you for a certain extent, but if you play the victim role and you continue to play the victim role for too long, you're going to stay a victim and the world's not going to work in your favor. You need to change the script. We need to flip it for us to serve ourselves and not be victims in this. Okay. Have I been a victim? Yeah, I've been a victim so many times. Have I been a victim in this HCU update? Of course I have. But I'm not choosing to be and stay a victim. So what's the alternatives? When we've lost so much traffic and rankings and money from Google, what do? Google, there's not the most abundant amount of answers on what to do. However, there are options, and it's not focusing on just Google anymore. Like what Roger's alluded to, do we look at other traffic sources and streams? Absolutely. But first and foremost, I think what's important is to understand a little bit about what Google has done, and they're trying to, that you can see that e-commerce businesses haven't lost rankings as much as just content sites. So single serving content sites that are just optimizing for ad revenue and affiliate revenue, typically Google is seeing that that content is not super helpful. I don't know how, I don't know why, I don't agree with all of the what is being ranked versus what's not being ranked, because there are pieces of content that are more helpful than others that are ranked, say, on an e-commerce business. Now, we're clearly seeing that e-commerce businesses haven't been affected as badly. What we want to do is, if you're buying a business or you own a business, is you want to treat it like a business, not like a content site. I've explained this to a bunch of people through my one-to-one coaching and through the inner circle, is that if you have a business, your goal is to serve, and say it's in a particular niche, say like surfing, your goal is to serve people in every single step of the way through that business. Not just do it the easiest possible way, which is what content sites are about and have been about. And I think people will probably, unfortunately, continue to have them be about this unless they understand these principles and these mindsets that I'm going to be talking about. And that is, let's not just do it the cheap and easy way. Let's not build a business the easiest possible way. Instead, let's do the right thing and serve the people in our niche the best possible way we can by building a business that serves people each and every single step of the way through their journey. As I said, we're going to use surfing, for example. If I bought a surfing website that has information or informational content, and I get traffic and I get rankings from Google, and I make money through ads, through ad network, and then I might even recommend a couple of surfboards for people to buy, or leg ropes and stuff like that for people to buy. Now, Google's just going to see that I'm just only creating content, and I'm typically going to do it in the cheapest possible format, which most people have done. And Google sees that, right? And you're just trying to create cheap content to make ad revenue and affiliate revenue. And typically, let's be honest, the ad revenue, we don't really optimize. We don't really care about it. As long as we've got ads on the site, we're going to make money. Yeah, right? So they're not ads. It's always typically tailored to people in surfing. Also, with affiliate links, typically people are optimizing for, the surfboards that are going to make them the most amount of affiliate commission. right? And typically those surfboards may not be the actual best surfboards for that person where they're at in their stage of surfing. So Google has really seen this and highlighted this, and they've also seen that people have just abused the crap out of AI and just created a bunch of content, just cheap, quick, and easily. And Google's just had a hard time with dealing with the whole thing, right? And we've also seen that, the expired domains thing as well. People have bought expired domains and built websites on those, to just game the system and buy a bunch of backlinks and do this the quick, cheap, and easy way. Google doesn't want this. And let's be honest, neither do human beings. People that come to your website, do you really reckon they want cheap content, easily written content? People that want to go to and use your business, do you really think they want a cheap, quick, and easy experience? No. They want what's best for them. They want the best products and services, and they want the best help for where they're at in their journey. There's so much in this. And so the options are, and what I share with people is to, number one, the priority is to make sure your business and turn your business or your content site, I should say, turn your content site into a real business and just start caring. Not trying to create a lot of content quick, cheap, and easily. We know that that doesn't work anymore, right? That is finished. It's game over with this whole cheap, quick, easy content, rank it, and get ad revenue, affiliate revenue. It doesn't work anymore, right? So we need to do something different. We need to accept that. We need to move on. We need to pivot and change, even though we've been affected and what has worked did work and no longer works. So we need to take our content websites and we need to turn them into real businesses. So how do we do that? And I'm going to talk about the traffic, getting traffic to the real business soon. But we need to change the model and the thinking of like, I own a content site to I own a business and I'm going to serve people in the best possible fashion. So if somebody is coming to my site for surfing related help, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I only have the best content and it's not a lot of content, right? Like, I don't know how I feel about this whole topical authority and create as much as I can, much information as I can around a specific topic just to have topical authority. Instead, I would say create information and value based on each stage of it, and don't just create more for creating more sake for covering all the keywords in that topic. No, I would say make sure you create content that is helping each stage the person's going to go through in their journey of being a surfer, and only do it and do it in the least amount of content. I've talked about this before as well. Less content but more valuable, people are going to love it, right? If I just give you the message and I give you the answer like this, you're going to love it so much more than me saying, hey, go away and listen to this 3-hour thing or read this 3-hour thing and you'll get the answer. You just want it right now, right? So maybe less content, more valuable in a more impactful way, covering each stage of the journey. So what would that look like for a surfing site that has just ad revenue and affiliate revenue? Now, this is not going to be perfect for every single site, and it's going to be, a little bit different how your site is set up, structure, theme, categories, all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm just talking basic principles and philosophies for business. I would take each stage of the journey of a surfer, and I would say never surfed before, complete beginner, intermediate, and then advanced, right? And I have those 4 stages, and then I would make sure I'd have content for each one of those stages, and my content would not be optimized for affiliate revenue only or ad revenue only. My content would be optimized more so to serve the person first, and I'd probably want less ads and less referrals to affiliate products unless it was very, very warranted. What I would do is I'd work out, how do I turn this into a real business that not just Google, the world sees that, okay, they're not just creating content for ad revenue and affiliate revenue. You and I both know if we go to a website and we're looking for something, and we can typically just tell if it's just a content site for ad revenue, affiliate revenue, and we feel a bit icky about it, right? Let's not do that. Let's have our site sell products and services, right? So maybe sell your own surfboard leashes, surfboards for each stage of that person, never surfed before, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. You can relate this to fishing. You can relate this to anything, right? Hunting, um, whatever niche that you're in, and give them real products and real services. At the start, they may not need to know that a bunch of stuff. Maybe they need a little digital course, right? Maybe they need a digital book to learn a few things. And then through that digital book that you sell them, you might have a couple of recommendations to affiliate products only based on where they're at in their stage in their journey. Maybe you have a service, right, where you sell surfing lessons for people that are at a certain place in the area. So you might capture leads and sell those leads to a surf school in Miami, Florida, or LA, or New York, even though it's freezing cold. I know they do surf there. Or Indonesia, or wherever the person is in the world, you might gather leads that people want to learn to surf, and you might find the best learn to surf school for them, sell those leads to a learn to surf school, and you make money from lead generation. You also make money through selling your digital course or your book, right? And maybe you realize, oh wow, there's these surfboards. Out of all the surfboards, the most popular surfboard that people are buying is not the advanced or pro model. It's not the complete beginner model. It's the intermediate model, and it's this one. And maybe I'll work out how can I get that manufactured and I sell it myself, right? So the end goal for you is to not just think about how do I make money, how do I make money just through traffic, through ads and affiliate revenue. The goal would be how do you make money and keep that person in your ecosystem in the journey to make money from them each and every single step of the way. For when they have one problem, you go away and you solve it, and then they have another problem, you go away and solve that. Then they have another problem, you go away and solve that. So you help guide them from maybe they don't become in as a complete beginner and never surfed before. Maybe they come in as an intermediate, and you say, all right, you're an intermediate. This is where you're at. This is what you need to know. This is the gear that you need. And then as they progress through, you want to help them and guide them through the journey to get to advance. And then when they start to get to the advance, you're like, look, maybe you need to change your board. Maybe you need to change your gear. Maybe you need to change your coach to somebody that's not an intermediate or beginner coach. Maybe you need an advanced coach. And you help them through every single step of the stage. That's how I think you guys should be thinking about this, as turning your content website into a real business that serves people with digital products, can be physical products, and it can be services, and make money through each single stage of that person via only because you're helping them, not via I just want to get traffic to my site, make this quick, cheap, and easy, and get ad revenue or affiliate revenue. No, those days are gone. They're done. Whenever we visit those sites, we hate them. They're icky. We don't want to be sold some crappy product that we know is actually not good for us, right? So that's how to pivot if you already own a content site, in terms of taking it from the main mindset to have is taking it from a content site to becoming a business, a real business, right? Serve people, give them a phone number, give them a chat, actually talk to them through email, advise them through email. Oh, hey, I'm thinking about like what sort of surfboard do I need? Chat to them, say, oh, this surfboard is good for you, or this surfboard's not good for you. If you're here, this is the sort of surfboard I would get. And then I would also think about maybe getting a coach to help you surf that surfboard, right? And you sell to them via email and via chat and customer service. And yeah, maybe it's an affiliate product for the surfboard, but you're recommending the right one. It's tailored to them. You're asking what their goals are, where they're at. And then the same with a surf coach, is you're asking where they're at. And then you recommend, you might get a referral commission, right? So you're just serving at a core level. You're not just trying to get traffic in. What you're doing is when you do get qualified traffic in, and it might not be as much traffic, but it's highly qualified traffic, and it's traffic with money that has a problem, they want to spend that money to solve that problem, and you have less traffic, you can make more money, right? My business, buying online businesses, we don't get a lot of traffic. I'm not the high volume traffic guy, but the business makes money because I am freaking awesome at serving and really good at helping people. And we change people's lives, right? So you don't need to have an insane amount of traffic. So that's the mindset. Take it from a content site to a real business. Now, let's solve the traffic problem. Now that you know that you don't need high volumes of traffic, you don't need insane high volumes of content to rank on Google. You can create just really good content, maybe on YouTube, right? I don't get much Google traffic to Bob anyway, right? Most of it's through podcasts and YouTube. Why is that the case? Because I got burnt, right? I got burnt. I used to spend thousands, tens of thousands of dollars a month on Facebook ads, and Facebook shut down my ad account. And I had no leads. I had no traffic, zero, complete zero, no revenue, basically no business anymore. So I had to pivot, I had to change. And then I went the content route. And I didn't just do Google traffic, I did podcasting and YouTube. And I don't really do too much on social media. You guys can see that. I don't care for it. I like the longer form content myself personally. We will do some social media stuff coming forwards soon, but as you can see, I basically nearly lost my business because I went from traffic to zero traffic, traffic and money to zero traffic and no money. And I pivoted and I changed. I didn't become the victim and I didn't go, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me. I made a change and it worked out very, very well. And I learned from it, and I want you guys to learn from this experience. It sucks if you have bought a business and this has happened to you. It really does. The reality is that you can do things to grow out of this. Now, we talked about the business model changing from, oh, I just own a quick, cheap content site to I own a real business and we're doing real things and I'm prepared to be in this business for years and years and years to come to serve. So that's one mindset shift. Another one is, where else can you get traffic from? And good qualified traffic, and how much is it going to cost you in terms of content, right? Maybe you do just keep creating content, but you don't use AI. Maybe you don't do it the quick, cheap, and easy way. Maybe you just write content for Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo, Pinterest, and create content for Pinterest. Create content for different channels, and you can get it through other channels. You don't have to be single source dependent on one source. So that's that. Now, I've got a bunch of stuff. Michael says, sounds like we need to do some strong BD for EAT and make sure it's strong. All right, Michael, I'm going to talk about this soon of us that are looking for our first online business. Do we buy a content site or do we not? Omar says, thoughts on sites that are useful, designed the way that you just described through A to Z. Doesn't Google have the powers to still say that your site is not useful for some other random reason, thereby affecting traffic again? Yeah, Omar, it's a good question. Google does have the power, if you give it to them, to say your site is not useful, and so does every traffic source, right? Facebook can shut down my account again. YouTube can shut down my account again. It can all get shut down. All traffic sources can all get shut down, right? It's just like in a traditional business. If you own a petrol station and they decide to do roadworks out the front of the petrol station, you're going to lose a lot of traffic. What can you do to change that? You can make your petrol prices cheaper so people will double back and come back to your service station. You can do like in Australia, a lot of people get pies and sausage rolls and chocolate milks and energy drinks from service stations when they fill up their fuel. When you spend over $50 on your fuel, get a free drink or a half price pie or sausage roll or whatever it is. Make these deals so good for tradies that they're not just going to just go to the next petrol station. They're going to double back and get what they want, right? There's ways that you can get around this. And it's the same with online business. Google's not going to give you, the cutting off a portion of your traffic. Don't rely on Google. Get multiple sources of traffic. So there you go, Omar. All right, any other questions, guys? Now, let's talk about buying an online business. This is the next big phase, or we've talked about people that have bought a content site. Let's talk about people that are coming to this and wanting to buy a content site. Now, let's recalibrate, right? You guys have come to this space with a goal. And I think that some people have lost track of what their actual goal is. So let's come back to, what's your actual goal? And this is the truest north for you, is to always come back to what your goal is. Most people are here because they want to replace their income, or they want to earn an income online so they don't have to work a current job, or they want to make more money so they can quit, or they just want to get some sort of level of financial independence or more money so they can spend more time doing what they love with the people they love. That's what I help people do. Typically, if you're here, that's likely what your goal is. Now, along the course, you've listened to some of what I've said, right? And conditioned yourself to go, all right, to get there, I need this, right? And I have typically told people that if you're starting out, the best way to go typically is buying a content website, typically because they're easier to run and they're less risk. Keyword, typically. How many times have I said typically? Okay. Things can change, and things have changed, and it's good, right? We need change in the world for it to become a better place. And I think online businesses will become better because of the changes that Google is making. Like, I know that you've all got your forms and opinions and stuff like that, but they're kind of forcing people to have better businesses and become better business owners. Are they rewarding some crappy sites? Yes. Do I agree with them rewarding Reddit and other things like that? No. They've got a conflict of interest with that because Google and Reddit are merging or whatever they're doing. Or then they got some financial agreement, but things change, right? And the good thing is, you may have changed your goal, right? You thought your goal is to be financially independent, and then you've made your goal buy a content site based on some things that I've said and what previously did work really, really well, right? But the goal is not a content site. Let's get back to your real goal. The goal is financial independence. The content site's a vehicle. Now, if your goal is to get to somewhere that is, say, 1,000 miles away, right? Or 1,000 kilometers away, that's your destination. Now, also, I'm going to use a bit of a metaphor here. If your goal is to get to financial independence, that's your destination, right? Now, say you wake up in the morning, you're like, all right, cool, I'm going to go and get towards my goal. And you go to your garage, right? You want to get to your destination 1,000 miles away. You got 3 different cars there. Lately, you've realized that this content website car is, the mechanic's been having trouble with is the SEOs are like seeing that it's not driving as well anymore. It's not really serving the purpose as nicely as I would like to get to my destination. So let's maybe choose another vehicle to get there. And there's so many other forms of vehicles. Maybe is it a content site with, something else added onto it, with like an e-commerce arm or whatever it is, membership or whatever it is. Or maybe it's just you buy an e-commerce business or a membership business or a SaaS business. Do not get attached to the vehicle, right? Please do not get attached to the vehicle. The good news is, you guys that haven't bought a business yet, is you don't need to buy a content site. Now, am I saying exclude content sites completely? Hell no. Hell no, right? There's still some good content sites out there that should be bought. Does that mean if you can't find one, you completely give up because there's so many that have been affected? No. You change your vehicle and you make sure you get to your destination. If you're true to your goal and you really want to get there, make sure you find a vehicle that can get you there with the least amount of risk and with the business model that you can operate, right? Now, usually it was cheaper and easier to operate content sites. Now, and the risk was a bit less. Now we can see the risk is a little bit higher now because it's a bit unpredictable with what's happening with Google. Maybe things do stabilize out after 6 months or a year, who knows, right? So, and I've seen a lot of people now buying e-commerce businesses with zero experience, smaller e-commerce businesses with zero experience, and growing them and scaling them. Awesome. Membership businesses, SaaS businesses, people doing the same thing. So let's not get too attached to thinking that Your goal is to buy a content business, because your goal may not be to buy a content business. I'm pretty certain that your goal is income, financial independence. So let's just get a vehicle that gets us there, right? That has the least amount of risk at this current time in the market. Cool. Any questions around that? I don't know what else to say. I think I've explained it how I believe it really should have come across, and how I believe you guys can understand and interpret what I've said there. Um, let's get the vehicle. Let's not get attached. I'll give you another example. I'm buying a property at the moment, buying another investment property, and there was one that I really wanted, and it didn't end up working out. Did I get attached? You'd be like, oh damn, no. So I went for a different one, right? And I'm looking for a different one. So what? I'm unemotional about it, right? Let's not get too emotional. Let's not get too attached, frustrated. Like it's a part of the journey. You're learning, and it's really good. Like if anything, this is a really good time. Look at the positives. For those of you who didn't buy a content site and didn't get slapped, you didn't yet buy a business. This is a great thing for you, right? You didn't yet buy a content site that got slapped by Google. Massive, massive win, right? And the people that did, I bought content sites, I got slapped, lost the traffic, earnings. Great for me. It's a great lesson. Really, really good lesson. Now I can learn what I need to do to turn it from a content site into a real business. So invest in something that's going to help you get to your real goal. Don't get too attached with the business model. I've helped so many people buy so many different businesses and get insane results, right? So let's do it. There's two questions here. One from Roger, one from Michael. So, all right. And whilst I answer these questions, I want you guys to come up with more questions whilst you're here as well. I'm sure that you have an absolute bunch, and I'm prepared to go overtime on this live and this call with you guys to make sure they all get answered, so you understand the answers to your questions. So do not hold back. Ask them in the chat. Okay. Roger says, what does it mean to go from content to a business? That is not clear to me. Okay, I'll come to that, back to that. Michael says, should our DD start to show which sites got slapped? This should be a short-term advantage, right? All right, Michael. I'm going to come to your question as well, Roger. Michael said, should our DD start to show which sites got slapped? A lot of sites got slapped, and a lot of people are doing DD on sites that got slapped because it is an opportunity, right? If you buy the business at its low, where its low point of traffic is, and value it based on where its low point of traffic is, and it's stabilized out over a certain few months. Let's say for example, a site got its last slap happened in March, and we go through April, we go through May, and then we get halfway through June, right? In June, you see that traffic since March has just stayed flat and stable, and it's still got a little bit of traffic, it's still got a little bit of earnings. You can value that site based on where its low is, and since it's been stable, and purchase the business if it passes your due diligence, and if you feel it's a good investment, and you can buy it typically at a lower price than what it would have been before it got slapped. Should our DD start to show which sites got slapped? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but what I'm saying here, Michael, is yes, you can still buy a content site. I'm also saying stop thinking that you need to buy a content site. You do not need to buy a content site. This is buying online businesses, right? The business is called buyingonlinebusinesses.com. Business name is Buying Online Businesses. Content site is one form of an online business. Your goal, make money online. You can do this a million ways. You've chosen to buy an online business. Does it need to be a content site? No, it does not need to be a content site. You can buy an e-commerce business. You can buy a membership business. You can buy a SaaS business. You can buy a YouTube channel. You can buy an Instagram account. I've helped people buy Instagram accounts. You can buy an app. you can buy any form of online business. And I've helped people buy so many forms of online businesses. I know a lot of you guys think that, hey, Jared's this guy that teaches people to acquire content sites. No. A lot of people start out with content sites and previously did start out with content sites because they was easier to run. Now we can see that maybe they're not as easy to run as e-commerce businesses. So understand that, Michael. Thank you. You got it. Cool. I'm talking to you, Michael, but I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to everybody. I'm reiterating myself multiple times. Listen to me. What is your main goal? If it's a buy an online business, buy an online business. You don't need to, the main goal doesn't need to be buy a content site. Sometimes we need to change our mindset, right? Your mind might be set on a content site based on previous market conditions. You can change this. That's the beautiful thing about being a human being. That's a beautiful thing about investing. And the beautiful thing is, if you haven't yet bought a business, you can change what type of business you buy and buy a better business. Imagine what an advantage you have. Imagine what an opportunity. You previously thought you were going to buy something, you didn't buy that type of business, and shit hit the fan with some of them. Call it like it is. And now you have an opportunity to buy something that's better. Wow. Awesome opportunity. Come on, guys. Let's be real here. Okay. A little bit of energy charge there. But I just want you guys, I think a lot of people are like, oh no, this is not any good anymore. It's freaking amazing. Really is. It's such an opportunity. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to convey to you guys. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for you guys. Especially since I've got a lot of experience and I can help you do this and I can navigate you through this as well. I can hold your hand. You can change your whole strategy. You can change the vehicle. If you previously were driving an automatic before or wanted to drive an automatic to get to your destination and now you're like, oh, I'm going to change the vehicle, it's a manual. Guess what? I can teach you that. And I have done that. So I can teach you to drive a different vehicle, to grow a different vehicle, to buy a different vehicle, DD on a different vehicle. Understand it. All right. And I'm excited because it's a new chapter for you guys that may have had a set mindset on one type of vehicle. Now, Roger, what does it mean to go from content site to a business? That is also a set mind, a mindset that needs to be changed. Previously, a content site was create content, make money through ad revenue and affiliate revenue. Now, going to a real business, it's stopping, thinking, I don't just need content anymore. There's an abundant amount of content. Maybe what we need to do is we need to package up and understand where they're at in different stages and offer physical products, digital products, and or services to them and sell them from your website, which is a business. And you can even turn a business to an online business to have an offline factor and arm as well. I've also talked with one of my clients about taking his content site to having not just live events on the internet and digital events, but live events in person. Right? So it's about offering the products and services that are going to best help your traffic and selling it to them, and having each single stage that they go through is you recommend or sell products and services to them that's going to help them get to their goal. Don't be set on just the only way to do it is through content. No, like I said before, you can have less content and earn more money. I mean, you can have less traffic and earn more money if you just have the right products and services that where you attract people to them, and then you can create content around them. Right? Number one goal for this is not just get traffic. Do you think my goal is traffic? No, I don't care about more traffic. What do I care about? Email subscribers. Because once they're on my email list, once you guys are on my email list, I can change how I serve you, right? I can change the products and I can change the services. By the way, I've got some awesome stuff coming for you guys that you guys are going to absolutely love. This is what you guys can do with content businesses. You can take that traffic, convert it to email subscribers, and then you can promote your products and services, and they can change. And over time, as your products and services get better, you can update them and tell people via email and sell them to people via email. And you've built an ecosystem of people that are in this space that are looking to you for help, like you guys do with me. So I'm a real business. I don't get just Google traffic, right? I get traffic from different sources, and it doesn't need to be a lot, but I have a large email list because I capture people on an email list, and then I offer products and services, and I help each of you guys through every single stage. Think about it. All right, I want to. My goal is financial independence. Okay, I help you with financial independence, but I give you first a little due diligence framework for free, get you on the email list. And then I go away and go, hey, do you want my mini DD course? Yes, some of you buy it, and then you upgrade to the big course, the buying online businesses membership. And then you go, oh, I bought a business, what do I do? Grow it. Oh, okay, cool, that's fine. I have an SEO agency. I can help you grow it. Oh, great, this is awesome. Now what do? I don't want this business anymore. Well, we can sell it for you. You see what I've done here is I've helped people through every single stage of the journey, right? Based on what you guys need. And I didn't do it all at once, did I? Right? I didn't always have my SEO agency. I didn't always sell businesses for people. But as this progressed and the business built and grew, then I started helping people. So that's how you go from, I just own a content site and I'm just creating content to get traffic. No, create content to get email subscribers and help people. Doesn't need to be that hard. John Henry. The reason it can, sorry, Roger. Let me tell you why it can be hard for this set mind to be changed, to change that mindset. The reason it can be hard is because when you consume a bunch of content around, or a bunch of media around content sites, how to buy them, how to grow them, how to run them, and all that sort of stuff, you become so invested in the goal is a content site. And you can't see outside of the realm of just a content site because you're in this universe of I need to buy a content site, I need to buy it and grow it, run it. How do I do all this? And you just consume all this content, podcast, media, YouTube channels, all that sort of stuff. And you're in this bubble of content sites. And when you're in this bubble, it's hard to get out, and you can't see other options because you're so embedded and you've invested so much time into this. So why would you change? Right? Now, the answer is because it doesn't work as well as it used to right now in this market conditions. It might in 6 months, it might in a year, right? But change is inevitable. I get thrown absolute curveball sometimes that I'm like, whoa, my whole life is just changed completely because of this one little piece of information. And I can either choose to accept it or push back on it and not change myself. So that's what I'm trying to share with you guys. Let's be open to the change. Let's embrace the change, because when you do that, you will change and you will become a better investor, a better person, and get better results. You become too fixated on one thing, you become too rigid. When the storm comes, you snap like a tree. Be the bamboo. You guys know what I'm talking about here. So, and keep your questions coming, guys, because we'll wrap this up if I don't have any more. John has one. In the past, you've recommended new investors to stay away from e-commerce because of Facebook ads. Do you believe that skill set can be learned relatively quickly? Great question, John. So glad you brought that up. Yes, correct. I have pushed away from Facebook ads in the past. Now, Facebook ads have gotten so much better and so much easier. You can typically put out an ad to a broader audience, and Facebook learns that audience for you. And I've seen people getting incredible results with way less skills than me in digital marketing and paid ads. And they're getting insane results, right? Somebody that used to work for me, one of my sales guys, Kai, he started his business and started running ads, and He doesn't know as much about digital marketing as me. He's probably started to learn a fair bit now, but his ads were just crushing it and he was making so much money. Now, am I saying Facebook ads is easy? No, I believe it has gotten easier, and I believe even Google ads and YouTube ads and a lot of them have gotten easier as time goes on because these big platforms want all of us to spend more money to do that. We need to make them easy. They need to make it easier and better for us to get results. So what have they done? Of course, they've made it a bit easier. That said, when it comes to e-commerce businesses as well, John, do you need to run the ads yourself? No, you can hire them. So I have always said and recommended investors to stay away from e-commerce businesses unless they have the skills or can learn have the time to learn the skills to run the ads or have somebody else run the ads for them. So there's always an unless, right? Now, when it comes to looking at an e-commerce business, and this is what you guys should do for yourself, you don't just need to take my word for it, is you can stack up, you can look at it, you can do DD on an e-commerce business and see its value, and then you can do DD on content sites and see its value, or SaaS, a membership business, to see its value. I recommend doing DD on multiple businesses to see which vehicle is the flavor that's right for you based on its value. And we will point out risks and we will give you risk mitigation strategies. If you don't know much about ads, then maybe we could recommend somebody who does know about ads. If you've got some time to learn ads, then we can give you some resources on how to get better at running ads. It's not about the can you do it or not? It's about, are you committed to doing it or not, right? For me, I knew nothing about paid ads. Was I born and I knew stuff about paid ads? No, but when I got into a certain business, this one, I needed to learn about paid ads. So I went and did it, crushed it, right? Took me time, took me a lot of time. I crushed it at the start, I sucked at the start, spent a lot of money, time, effort doing it. And you will learn this through, you'll go through that, you'll iron out the kinks until you get to a point that you will start working, but only if you're committed to it. So the key thing here, guys, is everybody can get results, but the key ingredient is commitment. You can buy any business and get results. The key ingredient is commitment. Okie dokie. All right. Feels like I've just done like a 50-minute rant. I guess this has really been on my chest and really been like, I just need to share this with you guys because I feel like some people have just they feel like they've stuck in the mud and don't know what to do. And there's always options, always options. I just want to share that with you, and it's exciting. It's so exciting. Derek loves the rant. Thanks, Derek. All right, Robert. Limiting our options to only content sites made the number of sites to look at smaller. Correct. How do we narrow down our options now? Well, sorry, let me get back to that, Robert. Great question, Robert. How do we narrow down our options now? Well, first and foremost, what narrows your options really is your price bracket, the price range, and stick with that price range and dabble. You've just broadened. You've brought. What I'm doing is now is, I've said, you've said, okay, we've narrowed our options to just content sites, and then you're saying again, how do we narrow our options down again now? Don't. I want you to broaden them. I want you to broaden your options to go look at other business models, right? And then as you start to look at different business models, you'll start to go, oh, this membership business and SaaS business is not really in that price range. I don't think it's going to be the right thing. After you've done a couple of DDs, and then you'll go, okay, I like these types of e-commerce businesses. Let's, and it might go one way or the other, right? So I want you to broaden it, and then you'll start to narrow it down yourself naturally, right? If it's too broad, then just look at maybe, yeah, I would just say get it broad and then bring it back into the narrow. And if you really have trouble narrowing it down, then let me know. I can help you with that. All right, John, that's great. Thank you. If we begin to consider FBA businesses, would the goal still be or make it an e-commerce business? Well, John, that is a really good question. And it depends on what your goal is, right? Doesn't need to be what I say it is, right? So I believe if you buy an FBA business, the goal should be, or like any business, is to decrease risk and grow it. And if you can do those things at the same time, amazing. Now, how do you do that with an FBA business? Decrease risk, yes. Don't be reliant on Amazon, right? So that means growing it. So an FBA business is an e-commerce business, right? It sells products. So I think what you mean is, should we start selling it off Amazon? And the answer is, if you can, yes, because it's going to decrease the risk, or decrease the dependency on Amazon, right? And it might take a bit of time, right? But if it's really worth you spending the money on just Amazon and growing it and holding on to that risk for a certain period of time and then selling it, then maybe it's that thing as well, right? So you just need to weigh it up, and we can, when you do your DD, John, and everybody else, you submit it to us, and you can ask these questions, and we can answer you specific to the deal, and it's going to give you a bit more clarity. So it's a really good question. Okie dokie. Oh no, Omar. But e-commerce requires customer service and managing an inventory correct, and therefore requires more hours per week. Omar. It depends on the business. And I'm not going to say no, it doesn't require all of that, right? Some businesses you will need, some e-commerce businesses you'll need to do it yourself. All of that, yes. And then some you can hire people to do the customer service. I've hired people to do customer service, and manage people. Inventory from, I did the inventory, and did it add more hours per week to the business? Well, you can optimize it and systemize it down. So if all these risks, Omar, or these things like, no, I can't do that, they're also opportunities, right? Problems, I learned this from a mentor of mine that used to do 60 mil a year. He said, Jared, problems, they're really good, I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, problems are opportunities in disguise. Now, sometimes there's some problems you don't want to take on. And at times, those problems are incredible opportunities. And Omar, when you buy an e-commerce business and you've got customer service, inventory management, and a few more hours a week to run the business, if you went away and you grew the business a little bit and then you hired people to do those tasks, typically you could sell the business for more because the business would require less hours per week. It's basically self-managed, and you'll get a higher price for the business. It's a great problem. It's a great value add. It's a great opportunity. So you can look at it as a problem, or you can look at it as an opportunity. Now, that said, if you are just like, well, I'm going to buy this and it might have customer service management, inventory, and all that sort of stuff, require more hours compared to a content site. Yeah, okay, well, which one's performing better? Is the content site performing better? Does it have more risk? Or would you rather do a couple of hours more per week until you find somebody else to, or create a system or a process to hire somebody to run that, and then have a business that is performing a little bit better with less risk? So what I'm saying, Omar, is like, e-commerce business, just because content sites are in the marketplace right now, Google's, done some fuckery, let's be honest, with their whole algorithm. Just because that landscape has changed, does that mean e-commerce businesses are the answer? No, I am not saying that. I'm not saying you need to buy an e-commerce business and an e-commerce business is the answer. I'm saying that you have options, right? And weigh up the different vehicles compared to each other. Maybe you got 3 different vehicles or 4 different vehicles in your garage that's going to get you to the destination. Test drive the 4 of them. What I mean by test driving the 4 of them is do DD on the 4 different business models or the 3 different business models and see which one suits and feels right, and then go with that. That's what I'm saying. Fantastic book. Derek, this is only my number 1 book recommendation. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. He's a great author. Also, The Ego is the Enemy. Check out his stuff, guys. The Obstacle is the Way. Thanks for that, Derek. I appreciate that. appreciate you putting that in there. So we've been on an hour, guys, and rant over, I think. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good to chat. Thanks, guys, for your questions. If you got any more, come bring them on, get them through, because this is a topic of discussion for everybody in our space, and I'm excited. I am so excited. There's the opportunities, like, and I'm not just like, I don't know if, there's this thing that's like toxic positivity where shit's just going down in the world and people are like, yeah, no, it's good. It's, have a positive mindset and just like sweep other things under the rug. No, no, no. I'm not sweeping that under the rug. Google has done some bad stuff, right? Or it hasn't been good for a lot of content site owners. I get that. I know that. Also, this is an opportunity. It's really awesome. And for those of you who haven't yet bought a business or haven't yet bought a business, you've got a huge win here. The people that have bought a business and lost traffic rankings and stuff like that, like me, we've got an opportunity here. Is there an opportunity for those of us who bought business already, or content sites, I should say, that have been slapped by Google a little bit tougher to deal with? Yes, of course it is. It's a lot more raw, and it does hurt, and could be a deeper lesson for me and for us to get, to really bounce out of. I know one of the hardest things for me in my life was when I worked so much. I got glandular fever, and I literally couldn't work many hours or even surf, and I had to change my whole business model. I had to change everything, because I got hit by this like curveball, and it was the worst thing at the time, the absolute worst thing for me in, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It just cooked me. But I look back now and I'm like, that's the best thing. That's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. So I'll leave with that. All right, guys, sending massive love. I feel for everybody out there that is hurting. I get it, and it sucks. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And for those of you who haven't yet bought a business, damn, are you guys frothing? Like, should be super stoked. Like, I'm so happy for you guys. I look forward to seeing more DDs come in from you guys now. Different business models, different mindset, and some good energy behind it. So just remember, guys, if you're buying an e-commerce business, buying something that has to have ads, I've spent so much money on ads and I've got so much experience in ads. You guys need help with that, you let me know. I've got referrals, I've got education to give, all of that too. All right, guys, sending love, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Bye.